It's time for the hottest show in America. It's time for the Rucker Show, where you get the 411 from A to Z, special guests, and much, much more. So buckle up for a wild, wild ride. The Rucker Show starts now.
Welcome to the Rucker Show. As always, we got Seven the Poet.
Hey.
JJ on the mic.
Yes.
Got Raheem Devaughn. And, the wonderful Tami Roman.
I'm here.
We want to give shout outs to our new affiliates. We actually signed up Smooth Radio 100.3 in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina.
Hey.
Rocky Mountain.
I've
You ever
never been there.
You ever been there, Seven?
I've never been to Rocky Mountain, North Carolina, but I shall see. I shall see.
I want to go.
You ever been there, Raheem?
Yes, I've done a show in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina before.
Okay.
That's where has he not been?
I don't know. He ain't been more places than Tami, though.
I don't know. We might be equal.
Hey, we might be equal.
We might be equal.
Look at y'all. Anyway, let's not even wait for the hot topics to discuss LeBron James. He's on the way to L.A.
Yeah.
4 years, 153.
So I did some calculations, okay, and I found that, basically he's making, if you minus the taxes, he's making almost $30 million a month. So I found
that's like $1 million a day.
I found some interesting things that you could buy with $30 million. Okay.
Okay.
Did you know you could buy your own private jet? We were just talking about people's jets. Raheem, you might want to consider getting this one. $30 million. You could buy Taylor Swift's New York apartment. It's $30 million. You could buy, listen to this, 60 millennia worth of ice cream. Okay, so like 60,000 years worth of ice cream. I love ice cream.
Not that much, though.
Not that much. Not at all.
Word is you could buy the moon for $30 million. They've estimated that, like 1 million acres worth of lunar land could equal up to $30 million.
Who owns the moon?
Okay.
That's Jesus, I guess. I'm guessing. And then you could live on a cruise ship the rest of your life for $30 million and just sail around the world.
They got some people that do that. They have some people that actually do that.
Yeah.
I'm literally like the boat is an apartment complex.
Oh yeah.
That's a good life to live. Yeah. Anyway, guys, are you guys happy about LeBron going or not?
I'm watching everybody, be upset about it, and it's a trip. First off, let me say 153 million. I'll go anywhere they send me. Like,
well, he actually passed up money. If he would have stayed in Cleveland, he could have got like 210, 218. And we're in that segment we call Hot Topics. What we got going, JJ?
Well, Keyshia Cole has been accused of refusing to pay taxes. She oses about $34,000 to the Georgia Department of Revenue. She got multiple tax liens. Did this come from her divorce to Booby? Is that his name? Booby?
Yeah, Booby.
Yeah.
Booby gets it. I don't think so. I mean, Keyshia has money. She just is not good at managing it. I know her personally, and so I know that there are a lot of things that go not paid in a timely manner, but it's not because she doesn't have the money. So I'm sure that even though this story is out here, it'll eventually get handled.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. I figured she'd had the money. Sometimes you just got the wrong people handling your stuff.
Handling the money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, my finance is real simple. Lights, water, gas, internet.
He didn't even say he paid for the roof over his head. Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
I peeped that.
You pay the utilities where you at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ed Sheeran's in trouble, guys. Sued for $100 million over Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On." Matter of fact, I think I heard Raheem sing that song the last time I saw him. He was on stage singing a little piece of that.
Don't be trying to bring that.
I ain't trying to bring you in this.
See what you're doing is dry snitching right now.
So he's not actually sued by Marvin Gaye's estate. It is it's actually Edward Townsend, the late Edward Townsend's estate, because he co-wrote "Let's Get It On" with Marvin Gaye. So the suit alleges that his song "Thinking Out Loud" copies various elements of "Let's Get It On," including the melody, rhythms, harmonies, the drums, the bass line, the backing chorus, the tempo, the syncopation, and the looping. Okay. Now, this isn't the first time that I know it's like everything, right? Is it the same song or not?
Yeah, for real.
So the lawsuit has happened before where the heirs of Townsend's estate filed a suit back in 2016 over the same song, but the case was dismissed. But now they're back saying we want our $100 million.
Did was that the same estate that got with Robin Thicke?
No.
I know
That's
that.
a whole nother case.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know it was a Marvin song though.
Yeah. But they actually lost that too.
Yeah, they settled that.
Pharrell and Robin Thicke, they lost the Marvin Gaye's estate won that.
Yeah.
But how does that work, Raheem? Like when you're in the studio and you're putting together a song, does somebody ever say, I'm not saying you, but you know, an artist.
You know when you're stealing somebody's art. Like,
do you feel like this was stolen?
You know when you're doing the interpolation of it. You know when you're doing it. You know what? I have to go listen to that one and like really and to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I have to go listen. I haven't listened yet, like to kind of compare them and what have you.
Because what's the difference between the stealing and really being inspired by? Because there seems like so many people inspired. You know what I mean?
So it's two type of grievances you can have. One can be a blatant. You have artists that they blatantly like, excuse me, sample. You have artists that actually sample a record, meaning take your song and chop it up. You put it in the machine, you create the loop, you maybe add a beat to it or a snare, you play instrumentation over it, but the sample is still the sample. Sometimes people sample things and don't get them cleared, like they just go hard, whatever. Somebody finds a sample and they will like sue you and say, hey, like you sampled my work. What they're going after is called the interpolations, where you have somebody actually replay the sample. Once it's replayed, you no longer have to get the clearance for the actual sample, but you still have to get clearance for the interpolation. And there's some money that's supposed to exchange hands as a licensing, in terms of saying like, hey, I got this song that sounds close enough to one of your songs that I need to come see you, basically. And they end up being able to own a portion of it, right? Yeah. They can kind of dictate and pick what they own, a portion of the song, and they typically just want a fee. And then after that, the business is handled. And then typically you'll see like in the credits, you'll see their names mentioned, right, and whatever, as it should be, because your body of work was influenced enough by somebody else.
Have you ever had somebody steal your stuff before?
There's some people out there that have like chopped up stuff and whatever. Like for example, Yo Gotti at one point he took the Bulletproof record and the producer like chopped it up and was like, "Look like you Bulletproof," and did a whole other song to it, right? For a mixtape. I ain't really tripped because it was a mixtape, and then on top of that, I sampled the Bulletproof is a sample. It's a Curtis Mayfield sample. You know what I mean? But I handled the business with the estate, so I don't want those problems. Because what happens is sometimes they'll sit back and wait for it to be monetized and then come after you. Or midway in it being monetized and say like it's a big hit record, and they'll put out what you call as a cease and desist, which could interfere with like, Grammy nods, certain television appearances, what have you. Cease and desist means like, back in the day, if they put a cease and desist on your project, like they would freeze your CDs. Like your CDs they would either take them off the shelves in some cases, or they would stop the shipment altogether until it's resolved. So it's just best to just contact them, because now they crack it down more than ever. That's people's work. Publishing lasts forever. So although these artists are not here anymore, the fact that their estate can sue them and win lets you know like the type of money that's still involved in like publishing and published works, as it relates to music and stuff of that nature.
Well, guys, I feel like we just learned a whole lot. I feel like I can go into the studio right now and
that was a seminar.
That was a free game.
We gave y'all that for free. All right.
I appreciate that.
Maxine, Auntie Maxine. I love when Maxine speaks, y'all. I mean, we just be listening like, hello, Auntie. She said this time responding to death threats from Republican supporters. This right here.
And I know that there are those who are talking about censoring me, talking about kicking me out of Congress, talking about shooting me, talking about hanging me. All I have to say is this. If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. There's nothing like a wounded animal.
Ooh. She said, "You better be a straight shooter."
Ain't nothing like a wounded animal.
A wounded animal.
She said she meant that.
Yeah, she meant that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of truth behind it.
You know, it's so sad. President Trump decided to send out one of his famous tweets after hearing her response to these Republicans and insulting her by saying she has an extraordinarily low IQ, and he has called and she has called for harm to his supporters. He capped it off by saying, "Be careful what you wish for, Max." I was like,
That's crazy.
And that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
a threat right there.
That's a major threat.
That's a threat right there.
We got to do a better job of not just protecting our black women and women of black and brown color, but just women as a whole. Me personally, I feel like women are one of the most, or the most disrespected on this planet. You know what I mean? The black woman is the most disrespected on this planet, and we got to do a better job of protecting and speaking up, and being verbalizing and just mobilizing for our women, man. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like,
At some point, it just makes you wonder, like, how can Trump get away with saying so much stuff?
But if we say something like that to him, or project that type of energy, they'll be at our front door and kicking our door in, using the terrorist act or whatever that is to invoke or do whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
he just basically issued a terroristic threat via his
Twitter.
Was it Twitter?
Twitter.
Yeah.
To
His Twitter
a U.S.
account.
Congresswoman.
Yeah.
To a
careful
black
what you
U.S.
ask for.
Congresswoman.
That's
So
crazy.
again, it just kind of reminds you of the times that we live in, man. Being in Europe, being abroad over the last 4 weeks, between South Africa and Johannesburg and also London, like, it's very interesting how we perceive and how they look at us as Americans right now. And I say it time and time again on stage, and I say it on this show. Like, we're currently being misrepresented, not just the people of black and brown color, but on this planet, out from the outside looking in, and for those that are American citizens, we're being misrepresented by probably the worst administration in the history of a presidential election.
People in other countries look at you, just bust out laughing.
Yeah,
You from
Like
America?
this dude
Yeah.
this dude has Nixon. He has Nixon beat. He has, and we had some doozies in the past. But like, yeah, man, like, this is our leader. This is a person that's supposed to be.
No, he's not my leader.
Like, that's supposed to be representing.
but no, he
what we
represents.
stand
Are you
for.
saying he
He
represents the United
represents
States?
country.
Yeah, the country.
Nah, whether you accept it or not,
I
he
do
is
not
the leader.
accept it.
Yeah.
Well, on a lighter note, anybody heard Drake's Scorpion album?
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah. You know what? I like Drake. I think it's too many records. I think he put too many songs on there. But other than that, I mean, I get it. You know what I realized? This is what I realized about artists. This is what I realized. When you get to a stature of like a Drake or a Jay-Z or what have you, like, for real, it's nothing else for them to talk about. That's number one.
Right.
And number two, all you're doing really is you're basically paying and to be entertained and to listen about, basically to be their therapist without giving them advice. Because all they're really talking about is like where
They're
they at in
personal.
their life right now.
Yeah, like
It
he
ain't
admitted about the
nothing
baby.
else, like,
Yeah, he admitted about the
Raheem.
son.
Raheem
Yeah.
and Tami, do y'all think like that is a new trend, the transparency thing? Let's add a dirty laundry and get in front of it, because I mean, it's a lot of artists that's dropping these. Let's tell it all in the album thing.
I think that it's nothing else for them to talk about. If you're not going in the socially conscious lane and talking about Trump, or talking about things that matter, or talking about police brutality, or talking about misogyny, or talking about having respect for women, or saying fighting against domestic violence or something of that nature in your music, then you don't at that level, at that platform, like, it's nothing else for them to talk about. Like, period. There's nothing else to talk about.
Right.
Al had mentioned how he mentioned Drake talks about his child.
Yeah, he finally admitted it.
Can you drop them lines that Drake said in his song right here, March 14th?
Where? Got you.
You got it?
Got it.
You need me to take the lead on? You got it? Go ahead.
March 14th, he said, yesterday morning was crazy. I had to come to terms with the fact that it's not a maybe. That's ish in stone, sealed and signed. See, not my lover like Billie Jean, but the kid is mine. Sandy used to tell me all it takes was one time, and all it took was one time.
Well,
so a lot of people.
And then he goes on to say he wasn't hiding his baby from the world.
He was hiding the world from the child.
Baby.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I think, and I get that. I totally get that. But I think one of the issues that was left out was the fact that the girl said he was a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
So it ain't even about, I'm hiding the child from the world. Because, you know what the world is going to do if they found out Drake got a baby, right? But the fact that you're not active in the child's life, I think it was the bigger issue that Pusha T was trying to say.
My thing is though, if Drake was that much of a deadbeat dad, it'd be more of an issue than ever. She getting the bag. It's probably
it's probably his presence.
I mean, she's a porn star.
Yeah, it's probably
the thing.
He's absent. He's probably absent from the child's
It's
life.
something else there. He must be physically absent.
Yeah, he's absent.
She might not be like. Can you imagine? Like, I know what my schedule is, and I got 4 sons, right, in different households, whatever, right. So I know. Can you imagine what his schedule is like? And he just trying to juggle or deal with one, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, you make time for the things that you want to make time for. Yeah. That's one. But when you're dealing with a woman that has your child and they're not in your household every day, you're at their mercy. Period.
And for her to say he was a deadbeat, I mean, let's face it. Like we said, I know he getting the bag. I just had a revelation. I didn't know you could be financially responsible and acknowledge the child and still be a deadbeat.
And still be a deadbeat. And that lets what that lets us know, typically, for men who've been in those situations, 7, you can probably speak on this.
Yeah, because we rock the planet.
It's like basically it's more to it. Like maybe she still want to be with him. Maybe she had expectations. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day,
I feel like we got a whole nother topic coming up.
Tammy,
hold on. Tammy coming up in just a minute. We got Tammy's Take, Perrier, darling. Ask Al on the way. If y'all want to chime in, you can hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Al Rucker Show.
We at this segment we call Perrier, darling. Perrier, how you doing?
I'm absolutely excellent. And yourself this evening, young man?
I am fine. Everybody's fine.
Splendid. You out there in TV land, how are you, Raheem?
Oh, everything is good, my friend. Perrier.
Excellent. Seems like you visited Dubai or something there.
Yes. Do you mind if I help you with a little ad-lib translation?
Oh, please, enjoy. And you there, Tami girl, how are you?
I'm fine, Perrier. How are you?
I am absolutely excellent. Listen, today we have ATM by J. Cole. Let's see. He says, my rollie is scorching. That means his watch,
Rolex.
his wrist game is on flame. Fleek, bam, bling-a-ling-a-ling.
Okay.
He says, those ninjas that were hating are slowly endorsing, meaning there has been a change of heart amongst your camp and your crew. At first, we were not really messing with or dealing with the conscious rapper person. And now, as Raheem expressed earlier, if you're not socially aware, conscious, then you're not talking about anything. So, yes, now they would be endorsing. It is a great time for them to do such. Now Cole, he's important. He says, my ninjas beside me, like Tami and Morton, here we have a representation of camaraderie. Yes, friendship. Why are you all looking like okay? And he goes on to say, we ball on your court, which is really telling you, like, we'll come to your house or beat you up in your front yard. Well,
take a whistle
on your lawn.
Yes. I don't know, that is public indecency, but then we skate on your B like Tanya Harding. Do you remember Tanya Harding? Does anyone remember Tanya Harding?
Yes.
Tanya Harding is the most violent ice skater ever to exist. She assaulted Nancy Kerrigan. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember that. That was some good stuff, though. That was like the first reality drama on TV.
Yes, to be assaulted with an ice skate. That is quite a blade on that thing there. I didn't know ice skaters were so violent. My God. And then it goes on. He says, she doesn't need her garments because she's horny from all of the money counting. I can't relate to that. Maybe, Al, you could take this line.
I can't. I don't understand that either.
You don't understand it either.
People get sexually aroused by money.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of money to do that.
She's a stripper. She's a stripper. She has to be.
Oh, okay.
What,
I get it. She don't need no garments. I get it. Oh,
yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't understand. I don't do strip clubs. I don't understand.
No, what I don't have much money, but I've seen it arouse women. Some women, not all women, but the ones that it works for, I like them.
No, I don't know about that one. I don't have that kind of money.
And this concludes Perrier, darling. Let me pop it for you one time.
Pop, 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 pop.
Oh,
thank you, Perrier.
Thanks, Perrier. Gosh.
That was a good interpretation. I'm the line that got me was, my ninjas beside me like Tami and Martin. Why he didn't put Cole in there?
Aww. Because it seems like Cole was pretty cool with everybody.
At times, Cole was.
Unfortunately, Cole didn't have the role though. Cole was the guy on the show that nobody ever respected.
That's true.
Think about that.
That is true.
Because of the perception of reality, I hate to ruin it for you. It's like, so, and because he played that role so well, people might actually in real life think this dude is a joke.
But he's not though.
He ain't at all.
He is looking though, because that's his friend. Quiet as a church mouse.
You can't.
Cool. Like, it ain't about. He accepted a role in his character.
He did.
He was always the guy that turns to, that says the stuff that's like you know, the butt of the joke, or he says something that's stupid, or like
Random spoons.
Like his character not, you know, lacking common sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how that happens.
All right.
So I got a question for you guys, off topic, before we get ready to go into this Mario. I was on my little vacation, went on the road trip, San Francisco, and I was telling my little sister how I have a fear of clowns. And I mean, like, it's a really bad fear. Like, when Ronald McDonald comes out, like, he was on a float one time.
You should not have told me this.
No,
JJ.
and and it's like nothing to play with. Like, people have tried to play with it in the past, and it's like really not anything to play with. Right?
Going to
So you
text you.
So
hands
it
on
just
you.
made me wonder though, like, what are some of your fears? What's one thing that you fear?
I'm afraid.
Poverty. I feel poverty.
I'm afraid because I have no fear.
No,
No fear.
I feel poverty.
I already faced my fear.
Yeah, I done faced mine
It's not
too.
good.
What?
It's not a good one.
What is it?
What was mine?
Yeah.
Well, I always had a fear of being shot, but I've been shot before. So I,
Shot?
I lived, so I'm blessed. Yes.
Oh wow.
Like with a pistol.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I always had that like.
You said you faced your fear like you did it on purpose. Like, so shoot
Yeah.
me
No,
then.
no. Not face it on purpose, but you know, didn't have a choice. Like,
So you're
Right.
not. So you're not afraid of being shot again.
I lived to tell. Oh hell yeah, I'm afraid of being shot.
Oh, it's still a fear.
It's still a fear.
But saying like afraid more so, no, because I already experienced. Like I would know
Yeah.
what to expect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So does that mean I'm still trying to like? Nah.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was always a thing that was just kind of like, you know, I would hear stories, or you know what I'm saying, or just kind of like you see things and you're like, yo, I
Yeah.
would never want that to happen.
Oh
to
yeah,
me. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
What about you,
Yeah.
Tammy?
Rats, mice, rats.
Oh,
Like I'll literally have a heart attack. Like jump on people,
Oh, yeah.
screaming, running.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
lived in New York. You're from New
Yeah.
York, right? Yeah.
They
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's where
Yeah,
I
everywhere.
first saw a mouse in my house in
And
New York.
there
and
are no mice in New York.
They're rats.
They're only
No. There's they're in the
They're
in the
mice.
house, dude. Like I'm not talking. There's rats everywhere in New York. I get that, but in this house, it was it was definitely a mouse. I know the difference between a mouse and a damn rat. Okay.
Did it sing?
Shut up, fool. No, and it didn't ask me to go to Disney World either. But
was
I
not
know
a
it was a
mouse.
mouse.
So what's
So
your
none of
fear?
y'all are scared of heights? Like
No.
nothing like
I was
that?
going to say.
No.
I was going to say. I'm not afraid of anything. I skydive
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
the plane at 14,000 feet.
But I will say, when that policeman pulled you over,
If anything, I'm scared of closed spaces, like tight spaces.
oh really?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
But
I didn't
are
realize.
you claustrophobic?
No, I didn't realize I was scared of tight places. So I'm watching a movie and I see this guy crawling through a little tunnel,
And your heart starts.
and I'm like,
kinda
"Oh,
racing.
Shawshank.
Yeah.
Like, God,
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's
I could-
interesting.
like even right now, you see on the news those 12 soccer players is in that cave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then like, man, they can't get out of it, and they say it's water, and they got to swim, and a lot of them can't even swim.
Oh,
So they've been there
man.
10 days, and they talking about sending food down there that can last for months because they're going to send somebody down there to teach them how to swim. And if you've ever been scuba diving, you ever been scuba diving?
Yeah. Mhm.
And you go through the little course about how to put the mask on, you got
Yeah.
the tank on your back. It's
Yeah.
not normal.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's
So
not
Right.
easy
You
at all.
you talking about trying to train people who don't know how to swim,
Dang.
and they have to put this. They have to learn how to use the scuba diving gear, and then the space. Because my question was, why don't you guys just put them on your back and swim?
Right.
They
That's
said
what I thought.
the space is too tight,
Oh.
so they can't get through this. So I'm like, man, if I can swim and I got to swim through
Why
this little
wouldn't
space.
they send a
Jesus.
rope?
No,
you know,
the space is too tight, but they have to go underwater and they can't swim.
if you send the rope
Okay.
and pull it back.
No, you still got to hold your breath. They don't know how to
They
swim.
don't know how to swim. I would be
Right.
like, think
So
about that fear.
you
of
don't
like,
wind the rope up slow. You yank that something.
No, it ain't gonna
I'm
work.
done.
The space in between is too far. So they gonna for them to say they gonna send food down there for months, and they gonna send people down there how to train you how to swim in this dark cave that's like 12 feet on the ground. Bro, I'm out of there.
How did they get to the cave?
I don't know. They just fail. I don't know. They fell in the cave.
Right.
You know what?
They
Let's
was
find
just
that
walking
out,
and say,
Seven.
"Bloop, bloop."
Let's find that out. I'm think that was like the title of the article I saw was "How did they get in the cave?"
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We had this segment called Tami Takes by our own Tami Roman. Here we go.
It's the T, the A, the M, the I, the T, the A, the M, the I. It's Tami. It's Tami. Tami's Take. Kick that knowledge, girl.
Let me tell you something right now. God don't bless no mess. So when you look at yourself in the mirror and you continue to see evolution in your life in a positive way, know that you are on the right track, that God definitely has you covered. Let me tell you something. Let your testimony be that you continue to bear evidentiary and convincing proof of the power of God. When you have faith, when you stay in prayer, when you uplift others, when you try to empower those around you, when you are a positive force, you will see that God will continue to assist you through all challenges. Strength, stand. You might be down, but you're not out. And that's what you have to remember. Now, things aren't going to always come when you want them to come because God operates on his own time. But that does not mean that he is not existing in your life, that he is not present and available. Let me tell you something. Once you decide to let God order your steps, once you have no concern for things that are negatively happening around you, negative people that are around you, once you decide to disassociate yourself from people that are stagnant and you stand in front of your mirror and say, God pulled me through that. God changed this road for me. God made a way out of no way. God has uplifted me. God has brought me through. God took me over that hill. Once you understand that, that is your testimony. The power of God is real. Every blessing that you receive is real. And he don't bless no mess, baby. So know that you are all right. You are okay. You are good at being you. You don't need to be anybody else. You are covered. And that's my take.
God don't bless no mess.
God don't.
You see
bless
that?
no mess.
Tammy.
You see what I did there? You see what I did there?
Tammy, what's the name of your church? I'm ready. I mean, you got to start
ready?
one. And then they got the cussing pastor. Now you ain't even got to cut nothing out. You can just get up.
You know, I can just get up there and freestyle it all the way.
I'm serious.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Timmy, do you go to church out in LA? I know where you were going when you were here.
Yes, I go to Shepherd of the Hills.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes. In Porter Ranch. It's a non-denominational church. Our pastor is Pastor Dudley. And I like the church because, A, I'm in and out. I hear the word, quickly. But, I go to church.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying you didn't go to church. I was just wondering where. Some people try to be at the places where everybody is.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not that girl.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the place that everybody is? Last I heard, church attendance was declining dramatically.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. I mean, look at how, especially with social media, shoot. You got pastors acting a fool all over the place.
Yeah.
It's sad that it has to be, that it has to be like that. But I liked your point, it's tough for some people to be the bigger person a lot of times. And when you talk about God don't bless no mess, we have to really be careful of the decisions that we make. Even when you feel like sometimes you are justified to react a certain way or to do a certain thing. And I know I'm right. And it's like, you have to really think about that. Like,
I mean, my friend asked me when I was in a marriage, he said, do you want to be right or do you want peace? And I had to really weigh that out. What was more important, being right or just having? Yeah, man. So I began to pick my battles. Also, Tammy, you're smoking high with these, man. The one on forgiveness. I really actively practiced that and had the best week of the year. Like,
Look at that. So Pastor
I might join.
Pastor Roman. Pastor Roman does sound kind of good. Pastor Roman. Bedside Baptist.
I don't know, child. I'm not feeling pastor.
Minister, church choir.
Is there one? Won't you come?
Is there one?
Let the words of my mouth.
I got me and 7 all the way.
That's crazy.
Girl. In other news, guys, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that Kendrick Lamar graced the cover of the latest issue of Vanity Fair.
Yes.
And in the article, he talks about the use of the N-word. Mm-hmm. And so it was reported there was this white fan who used the word while rapping his lyrics during a show. Mm-hmm. And K-Dot said, let me put it to you. This is a quote. Let me put it to you in the simplest form. I've been on this earth for 30 years. There's been so many things a Caucasian person said that I could not do. Good credit, buy a house in an urban city. So many things you can't do that, whether it's from afar or up or close up. So if I say this is my word, let me have this one word. Please let me have this word. So he doesn't feel right like anybody else can use the word. And it's funny when you think about it because the guy's just rapping his song, right? Technically, right? He's rapping his song at his show.
He wants him to skip over that.
He won't get that wish. Simply because with the popularization of the word, we all remember a time when you absolutely could not say it on radio. I remember the first time we had heard an explicative used on television. Alexis Carrington called Crystal Carrington the B word, and it shocked the world. But now you can be privy to conversations with many people from different walks of life, and they're using the N word, and it is not slander or derogatory. It's a term of endearment.
Do any of you guys use the N word?
I use it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
They be telling me not to use it on the air because I want to say it to some people.
Yeah, the N word. I mean, as Seven said, in some conversations is used as endearment.
Yeah. And
that's just what it is. But I agree with K-Dot. I mean, for a Caucasian person to sit next to me and be talking like that, yeah, it's a little different.
It feels weird. I mean, I was on the plane and we were deplaning, and there were two dudes across the aisle from each other, and it was like they were on the porch Like Kanye said, they was sitting there talking. It was like they were the only ones on the plane. And every time they said it, I cringed.
Yeah.
And I was looking around at,
I kind of felt that way. I worked with these guys that were Hispanic a couple of years ago, and they would just call each other the N-word, and I used to just be like, "Wait a minute, this feels weird." Like, are y'all? Wait, did y'all get the card?
Yeah.
Wait until you see every population, the Asian population, Hispanic population, everybody's using it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I think it. Go ahead, Al.
No, you go.
I think it makes us, feel some type of way or cringe because we know the history of the word. But I think Jay-Z did an interview with David Letterman, and he actually said it so eloquently that our attempt at reverse psychology, like taking something that you meant for negative and make it good. So now we've made it a term of endearment. Now, because we have embraced the word, whether some people agree with it or not, Black is lit. Black is beautiful. Black is culture. So now once we say it, they don't want to let us have anything. No. Everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon. And now that's why you see all these many different races and generations, using the word and utilizing it the same way we utilize it, because we aren't allowed to have anything that is predominantly ours that we can hold on to. And every time we try to have something, they get mad and they figure out a way to take it away. However, I do want to speak to Kendrick Lamar. I see where he was going with his point. I just don't agree with white people ain't keeping us from getting credit. And white people is not keeping us from buying a house. That's us and us not being educated and knowledgeable. But I see where he was going with it, but I just think that wasn't the right.
I feel you on
that
same
thing.
too.
The same thing as Tami just said. Ice Cube said the same thing, how we have taken the word and then use it for our own good. So they can't, it's not derogatory in our sense of things.
There are two colors specifically that the entire globe shares a certain level of endearment for. Black and green. And you can put whatever green on that you want. I'm speaking of a specific candy and brownie and cookie kind of green, but it's a global love when you talk about green, or be that money, and black.
Yeah, you're right.
That's so true.
Even with Raheem saying he just came from over in London, when I lived in Venice, Italy, when I ran track over there. Black people are held up. They love black people over there. They love black people overseas. So,
I love y'all too, from a distance.
And we're at that segment we call Ask Al, where people send in letters, want our opinions, and we're going to see what we got today. Who we got, Jay?
This one comes from Tami. It says, Dear Al, I haven't seen or spent time with my 10-year-old son since February 24th. I took him to see Black Panther. The last time I talked to my son was on Easter. I have no contact information for his mom, no number, no address, or social media. She has been calling me on a private number. Although she is married to a deacon, I would think she would know and do better. The only way I'm able to relay a message to my son's mother is through her two oldest daughters on social media. I'm not sure she gets them. The point is that our co-parenting is slim to none due to her holding on to the past. I don't want any more kids due to the fact that I feel as if my son's mom is voluntarily taking me out of my son's life. What advice can you give?
Seven, I'm going to let you do this one.
I want to follow up on Seven's too.
I'm going to let y'all follow up on that. What you got, Seven?
If your son is truly the priority, you have a few options, man. One thing you could do is go ahead. She's able to do this because obviously you don't have anything that's legal and binding. So I would take her to court for custody, one. And even if, and that's the long haul, first thing I would do is file child support on myself, because it gives you a certain level of rights and puts you in the bargaining seat to speak about what you can do, what's affordable to you. So after because if you go to custody without being able to show any financial responsibility, you're going to lose the case anyway. So the first step to give you rights immediately is to file for child support on yourself.
That's good. Okay.
What's your thoughts on that, Raheem?
I'm right with 7 on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, far too often we forget as men we have actually the same rights that women do when it comes to our children. We get intimidated by words like court or lawyer or the big CS. You know what I'm saying? Child support. The reality is, if you have a child on this planet, whether it's 1 or 30 of them, it's your responsibility to take care of those children financially, you know what I'm saying, and physically and spiritually, and be there for the child, not just financially, but physically. And sometimes, women can be a hindrance to that based on previous relationship situations, based on the fact that they're bitter about something, based on the fact that whatever, they may not like the woman that you with, or
and to this gentleman,
right.
I can tell that he's hurt by it. He says she's holding on to something from the past, and that's cool. She can do that. However, it does not negate your rights, and this is how you fight. Right. Yeah. And notice here, based on the Drake situation, after you give the money and spend some time with the child, you're still going to be a deadbeat. Don't worry about that. Okay?
Well, that's good advice from both of you guys, Raheem and 7. That's great advice. We're going to keep those letters coming. Email us at info@alruckershow.com. Now it's time for Nikki Woods as she goes out front with guest Natalie Graves Tucker. Topic is finding your roots. Nikki Woods out front. When we at that segment called Conversation with Raheem. Raheem, what you got for us?
All right, y'all. Here it is. Are y'all ready?
We ready.
In order to have some things in life you never had, you got to do some things you never done. Today, I want to talk about understanding and knowing when to keep your mouth shut, knowing which battles to fight. Seven touched on it earlier a little bit. You know what I mean? Your peace is worth your happiness, and your happiness is worth your peace. Far too many times we get in disagreements with people in the work sector, or in, primarily in our relationships though. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to touch on right now. It's just like, we got to remember that words cut like knives. That once you say something, someone's going to say something back to you. You can potentially open up Pandora's box for some things that you can't get back from. You know what I mean? So if you got to come home to, it's one thing to have 2 separate households. It's one thing to live together, and you got to come home to it. You know what I mean? We got to humble ourselves. We got to pick a better way to communicate with each other. You know what I mean? And this is what creates our happiness at the end of the day. So you got to know your battles, know which battles to fight, because when you leave out of that personal space, that's supposed to be your haven. That's supposed to be your safe zone, right? And with that helpmate, it's y'all against the world at the end of the day. So if y'all going against each other, you're making it easier for that person to go out in the world and be possibly distracted with what they need to be focused on at home, or worse. Know what battles to fight. Know when to keep your mouth shut. Your happiness depends on it. That's your conversation with Raheem Devaughn today.
Okay. Pick them battles.
I want to ask a question.
What's that? Uh-oh.
Ask it.
But I know we're on a time frame, so go ahead on.
We got plenty of time.
No.
Okay. We actually got plenty of time.
I heard what you said, because I'm big on pick your battles. Yeah. But how come everybody always sees when you respond or when you retaliate, and they never see the moment of the provoking, or the moment of the initial contact, the initial conversation?
That's because the way they edit your show, Tami.
Because
basically,
that's what they do.
No, this is
problem
the thing.
solved. All right.
Nah, let's get into that. Let's get into
that.
that.
Even in relationships, sometimes there's a person that's always saying something, and then one day, you just like, you know what? I'm not trying to hear that today.
This is the thing. Most of the time, the antagonist is operating in a throw the rock, hide the hand manner. See, people want to hit you, slug you under the table, and then they expect you to shut up. Don't They don't say nothing. So when you show them that you're not going to say anything, and this is the problem with, I mean, across the board, people that punch people, kick people, bully people at work, even child molesters, they count on you not saying anything. And when you don't say anything, it's almost like you are volunteering to be a part of the exchange. However, you know, as it was put to me, I'll put it to you twofold. One person said, not everything justifies a response. Silence is a friend that will never betray you. On a more physical side, if a motherfucker kick you one time, they're going to kick you one time. If a motherfucker kick you 2 times, they're going to kick you 2 times. What
Can't
is
say
that?
Can't say that.
Oh, this ain't part. I thought we was close the segment.
No, it ain't. This clock's still going.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody picked their hand up to slap you and you snatch their arm out the socket. Guess what it's finna be? No slapping.
I think when it comes to that, and I agree with what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, it comes to a point where you may have that person antagonizing you, and that happens to all of us, but you just don't respond to it. But as Tami said, at some point you're going to explode. And once you get to that point, you're going to explode.
We have to understand everyone is wired differently, but more importantly, though, you're going to have an opinion, and whether they agree with it or not, you're entitled to have an opinion. When somebody is telling you, you know, because they may be misconstruing or misinterpreting who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like they might be making a judgment call on something based on who you are, and it can get lost in translation. So you got to speak up for yourself. You got to say, you know what I mean? Now, it depends on how well of a listener they are. Like me personally, I'm learning to be a better listener. I have to be a better listener, just in business and relationship and whatever, because I'm that guy. If I feel like I'm right, I'm gonna try to overtalk you.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna try to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You right?
Outtalk you. Or what have you.
I have to learn how to accept people.
He's in training.
Just accept whatever it is. I had this thing. Well, that's the teacher in me. No, let me show you how to do that better. Let me help you. Let me correct that. And some people don't want to be corrected, and not everybody coachable.
No.
That's true.
That's good. Well, thanks, Raheem, for that conversation today. 2 quick things I just wanted to mention to you guys as we focus a little bit on some positive things that have gone on in hip hop. Nicki Minaj dig deep into her pocket so that she could help 37 students pay for their tuition, paying up to $18,000 of their expenses, which is pretty nice. And
I wish Jazz had been one of them.
Girl, listen. Shoot, that college tuition ain't no punk.
Not at all.
It is no punk. Oh, Al, I know you know too. Shoot. And then, you know, it's been viral all over the place. The brutal murder of the 15-year-old in New York City.
Nothing.
Residents as well as celebrities have been showing the family a lot of love. And recently, Lala Anthony went to visit the family. It was actually on her birthday. She visited the family in the Bronx, and her and Carmelo donated money to their GoFundMe page. So just trying to show some, you know, positivity, some people who are doing some great things in the community. A lot of times it gets overlooked by the foolishness. So
yes,
I thought that was great. Did anybody get to see Power?
Yes.
Of course.
Oh my God.
I have not seen it.
Tyreek got to die.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, but that's your
you ain't seen it?
That's your fault.
No.
You don't get no pass.
No.
You don't get no pass.
Boy, it's only been 72 hours.
No.
I would turn the table over.
No.
Everybody not know. What we're not finna do is talk about no power.
No.
I would.
That's your.
Okay,
I will
listen,
hit
we don't have to have the spoiler alert, but two quick things. Tyreek needs to die.
He does.
Okay, Tyreek's got to go. I'm sorry.
Who is Tyreek?
I know he's the kid.
No,
you don't even know who Tyreek is?
You don't even
He don't know what's going on.
Wait a minute.
But check this out.
Wait a minute. I know who Tyreek is, and for her to say Tyreek gotta die, it must be a new Tyreek on the show.
No. We talking about the actions, the things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
question though.
Yeah.
Who do you think plays their part better on Power? Who's the best actor on that show?
Out of who?
Out of all of them.
Tasha.
It's everybody. Who?
Yeah, Tasha's Cole.
Tasha
and,
plays that part.
Dre is cold.
I think Tommy plays his better than
Let me-
Oh yeah, Tommy.
Tommy.
Let me tell you.
Tommy.
Well, y'all basing
Tommy
this
is
on
cold.
y'all basing this on the first episode. Let me tell you.
No. I'm just saying overall. Tommy is cold.
Let me
man.
tell you. Let me
Kevin, you
tell you
haven't
something.
even seen the last episode.
I don't have because I'm not
everyone
gonna
watched
base.
it.
I'm not gonna base the best acting on. Well,
No,
everybody
I'm
had
saying-
they premise of how the
Tommy.
best actor. Let
Tommy
me
and
say
Tasha.
this.
Guess
Tommy
what?
and Tasha.
Let me say this.
Guess
Let me
what?
say this.
You better
We
say
saw
it in
this
20
boy.
seconds.
We saw this boy at the party. I do not
Bro
like.
Timmy?
I do not like him.
In real life?
I don't even know.
We saw
I don't know this boy. I don't like
He's
him.
at Jamie Foxx party.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I ain't never talked to this man. I don't like him.
Listen,
Nah, he cool.
I whispered in his ear, you know you gonna die.
Yeah.
You know you gonna die.
You think he gonna die, but he ain't gonna die.
Well,
he got
clearly
that,
not.
He got that protection.
Clearly not.
He
But
got that
we'll see.
protection.
Well, he went. I thought he was gonna die this first episode.
But we're at that segment called Ass of the Week. JJ, tell me what we got going
this
on.
man,
Who is the ass? Who's ass?
this man, talk about ass. This is for real. This man starts selling his dirty underwear on eBay as car security system.
Raheem face is priceless right now.
Wow.
Bad smells can repel many people, and one man is hoping the smell of his dirty underwear will discourage car thieves from paying special attention to his vehicle. He's a British author who discovered an advertisement on eBay showing a dirty pair of red briefs wrapped around a steering wheel, pitching them as the best steering lock ever, guaranteed to put any car thief off nicking your car. So the seller, his name is Nick Fisher, he said that he made this listing as a prank to promote his latest work, The Husband and the Wife Joke Book. But he was shocked that he actually made a sale. And he says that he got the idea when he came home from the gym one day and he saw a dirty pile of underwear in the laundry, and he spread them over the steering wheel of his BMW for this effect that would keep people from stealing his car.
That's crazy.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Well,
Yeah.
clearly car alarms don't help.
No, the ass of the week is the person who bought the underwear.
Right.
Boom,
He made a
That's it
sale.
right there.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
person.
my
What
God.
if, what if they bought the underwear because they like the smell of ass?
Some people in the pungency, man. I guess
Yo, there is this other story I wanted to share with you guys. Not sure if you guys saw this too, about Serena Williams wanting to know why she's drug tested more than other athletes. Did y'all see this? So she was asked at this one of her matches. One of the reporters talked about this article that she was in where she says, I never knew that I was tested so much more than anyone else, saying that she's been tested for dope much more than any male or female player in tennis.
Yeah.
And
That's phenomenal.
She's so dominant.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, she's so dominant.
Yeah,
in the sport.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
it's sad though that you have a person who has to go, this is what I mean. And I think this is actually a test to being great. For people who desire to be great, there is so much pain and so much drama that comes along with being great that you cannot avoid. There are always going to be people who feel like there's no way you can be doing this the right way. There's no way that you deserve to have this. There's no way. And I think this is a great example right here. Can you imagine knowing you got to do the test regardless? If they pull you out, to pull you to the side, you got to do it. But to know that you're doing this unfairly and I still got to do it.
Yeah, I just think the fact that she's so dominant that they have to. It's kind of like when Floyd Mayweather was boxing. He actually started making his opponents take a more intense drug test than a normal drug test. And that was part of the contract because they knew everybody wanted to beat him. Yeah, and he knew they would actually probably do something extra to beat him. Yeah, to enhance him. Wow. He did that, so I can understand that. I mean, I don't think it's nothing against them doing it, but they just want to make sure because she's so dominant. She dominates what she does.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're gonna make me do it, then let's just have everybody do it.
I mean,
let's have everybody do it.
They need to develop a drug test for love. It's the worst drug in the world. And the best.
You're so against love, Seven.
But anyway,
since
you're talking about love, LA is loving LeBron. They love LeBron.
He done brought that back to LeBron.
Sure did.
Man, yeah, we done brought it back. We at the end of the show, we might as well talk about it.
I don't think the team's strong enough.
Who else?
No.
They just picked up somebody else too, right?
They need a few more pieces.
Yeah, they're gonna get some more pieces.
Here's my take on the LeBron situation, though, and I'm a LeBron fan. I love LeBron, whatever. In a climate, in a world, in a generation where these youngins, with these youth, they don't have an ounce of loyalty. They don't understand what loyalty is.
Right.
They look to public figures for direction in their songs. They look to us for whatever. And what they're seeing and what they're not witnessing any type of loyalty. And I'll stand on this because I come from a generation of like, a fan of like, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
So you saying he doesn't have loyalty to Cleveland?
Hold on. I can go on and on and on. But what I'm saying is that these athletes are cut from a different cloth now, and they're just different. We're in a different time where like
they're not loyal to the team. They're not loyal to the city.
When nobody has loyalty to anything, but that green cha-ching.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Seven said it earlier. Everybody loves green and black.
But that bag.
So,
but why can't he just want? Why can't? Okay, I got a question because I don't.
You would have never seen Michael Jordan, and you will never see for this reason. You would have never seen Michael Jordan with a piston jersey on. Ever.
But why can't LeBron want to move to another city?
I know, but Raheem, we only got. You got to let her get a question in. We only got 2 minutes.
Why can't?
Because Raheem pulling a Kenya Moore, ain't been here all season, and then they'll come back and talk over everybody.
Talk over everybody. That's why I'm like.
I'm done on that one.
But no, but I understand what you're saying. But the bottom line is this: I don't think LeBron's loyalty should be questioned. If anybody's loyalty should be questioned in that scenario, is be Dan Gilbert, the owner. Because at the end of the day, hold on, I'm gonna tell you. If you follow the basketball, Dan Gilbert is going to say when LeBron was able to test free agency, he said, "I hope he does go test free agency so I can get my team back." How you gonna tell that to arguably one of the greatest players of all time that you want him to go test the free agency so you can get your team back? I'm gonna leave too.
Bro, all I'm saying is Michael Jordan figured it out. Until he got those rings, he didn't go nowhere. He didn't try to change the jersey. But they figured it out.
But this the thing, though.
All those guys back.
No,
but
I understand what you're saying.
Like a regular job.
Michael Jordan didn't finish it. He went from the Bulls to the Wizards.
But
then he went back to.
Owned.
No, he didn't own the Wizards at the time, man. He don't own it. He owns Charlotte Hornets. He didn't own that. He left Chicago. And then he went to the Wizards, and then he went back to Chicago.
He was going through something.
It doesn't matter what he was going through. It doesn't matter what he's going through.
I don't understand why this isn't like a regular job. And just correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't understand. But if I want to now, because I've done my career, I've been to Miami, I've been to Cleveland. Now I'm ready to just be in LA where I can do acting and whatever. Why can't I just want to move to LA?
This the thing. The loyalty. No, this the loyalty. No, this the loyalty part. This the loyalty part. What you talking about, Raheem? He finished his contract. He did what he had to do. If his contract was 4 years, 2 years, whatever it been, he served his contract. The difference is if he would have been in the contract and demanded I want a raise in the middle of the contract. No, brother, you signed this contract. Or at the same time, I want to be traded. You got Kawhi Leonard right now talking about he want to go trade. He want to be traded. For what, bro? Finish your contract out. You got 1 year. You'll be free agent next year. If you want to go to L.A., you can go to L.A. that way.
I'm glad y'all said that. This is a perfect song for us to end. All right. It's called Now I Know. Mary J. Blige and Lauryn Hill. Y'all done wrapped it up for me. Now I know. Now I know.
Thank y'all for tuning into the Al Rucker Show.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
The Al Rucker Show.